Alaminos City, Lian Cassandra Chan Rakuya. Alaminos City is known for thousands of amazing islands that never disappoint, in which you can dip and dive in different islands and see several amazing nature spots. It is why Lian's costume is inspired from the wave of the sea creatures and corals, which represents one of the known tourist spots in her city, the 100 Islands. Anda Bohol, Irish Dilima. Her cultural attire is inspired by the mystical island of Anda Bohol, the Lamanok Island. It is shimmering in green paired with arched edges and accented with pearls and diamonds that signifies the beautiful creatures in the depths of the waters of Anda. Irish wants it to be unique and must be anchored to their culture and heritage sites, as it is for her the best way to show everyone what Anda really is. Angeles City, Gail Ventic. Tara na, sulagpo tana. This costume resembles the mythical phoenix, which symbolizes Angeleños' resiliency. Rising triumphant from the ashes of Mount Pinatubo erupted in 1991 and transformed Angeles City into a soaring, progressive metropolis. The dark-colored layers of the skirt are reminiscent of the ashes that dampen not only the vast lands of Angeles City, but also the spirit of every local. The premium silver and gold colors dominate the upper portion of the costume and extend to the proud and mighty wings and culminate with the majestic headdress. Atimonan, Quezon, AMEER Alma Mari. AMEER's cultural attire reflects the amalgam of various culture activities in Atimonan, the Tagultul Fishing Festival. It represents the fishes, the sea, and the nature of fishing habits, the bountiful catch, and the traditional way of living of Atimonanins. Her advocacy is seamlessly woven into her cultural attire and their Tagultul Festival, with colorful corals gracing her whole costume, eye-catching fishes, and their legendary mermaid, the guard of our seas, who she also represents with her clothing and headpiece. Aurora Isabella, Myra Isabel Rola. This is a symbol of historical innovation, of their ancestors' nomadic living, and the ingenuity of Filipinos. Its purpose had since evolved, and Miss Aurora Isabella takes pride of her roots as a farmer, a remnant of her past, an innovation and a symbol of our humble farmers' lives, the kariton. Baclayon, Bohol, Jezebel Ugat. Her cultural attire represents the rich marine and land biodiversity of her town, Baclayon, Bohol. As a small town blessed with the wonders of nature, the design embodies the plethora of life forms, both on land and water, that is endemic to her town. Balayan, Batangas, Elise Relacion Galvez. Refleksyon ng pagputok ng Bulkan Taal. Kaikbat ang marubdog na pananampalataya ng mga Batanggenyo, ang pangkulturang kasuotan na binigyang buhay ng liwanag ng animoy mga kidlat na siyang gumulantang sa sambayanan at patuloy na pagbabanta ng pagsabog ng bulkan. Ang kasuotang ito ay sumisimbolo sa pangako ng bagong umaga na may pag-asa, pananalig at pagbangon. Mahal kong Bulkang Taal, Bangon, Batangas. Baler Aurora, Verna, Abby, Katusalam. The fiery red and black Filipiniana symbolizes the celebration of Philippine-Spanish Friendship Day, a jubilee of merging cultures among the Balearianos and the Spaniards. The neck and headpieces signify the majesty of Baler, delicately handcrafted from coconut shells and coconut powder by the inmates of Aurora Provincial Inmates. This piece was made with the collective efforts of Baler locals, showing that aside from its scenic spots, Baler is also overflowing with creativity and unity. Bayambang, Pangasinan, Jan Arlie de Guzman. This costume is an optimum piece that depicts the rich cultural heritage of Balon Bayambang na and pays tribute to the breadwinners of the municipality. The headpiece represents the plant named Kolibangbang, where the town got its name, which grew in abundance, especially in the hilly southern part. The bodice is inspired to the first person known as Agalit that belongs to an indigenous tribe, Aita, in the early part of the 16th century. The papier-mâché onion backdress is made from old newspaper. This Rian Fernandez piece definitely calls for a celebration to Bayambagueños' pride. Bugalyon, Pangasinan, China K. Verosil. From dusk till dawn, she'll fight for what is right. She'll fight for her love that brings her the light. She is the legendary warrior of Pangasinan, Princess Orduja. This costume represents a young, beautiful, and well-educated ruler. She's a woman of strength, a heroine that led her soldiers to the battlefields to protect her land and environment. The shield was shaped like a carabao, our national animal, which is a big help to the farmers in the agricultural town of Bugalyon, while the costume is made with indigenous material, which can be found in Bugalyon's different crafts. Calamba City, Maria Trisha Medrana. Her national costume, the warrior, was designed by Mr. Eduardo de Castro. Calambeños are known to be resilient people. We fight all together to reach success. The gold color represents the golden heart of our people and the stardust soul of the Calambeños, while the cross signifies that our city is a God-centered home for everyone. We embrace the Catholic faith with our purest hearts. The banga or clay pot symbolizes the name of Calamba City. It was built to commemorate the folk tale on how the city got its name. And all in all, it denotes our culture, tradition, arts, and the life of every Calambeños. Caloocan City, Jeremy Nuki. As a Filipina, a Pinaflores Filipiniana white ball gown reminds us that our country is very rich in culture and natural beauty. Its land depicts hope and light, just like in the historical times of Caloocan, where Katipuneros fought for our freedom. Through their work, it helped the Philippines break free from Spanish colonial rule. Rosary symbolizes our religious culture and God-fearing country, and a crown which defines every single Filipina out there is a queen of her own. Just like this Filipiniana, we are all a royalty of our own culture. Pinaflores Filipiniana white ball gown made by Lani Liwag. Carrascal, Surigao del Sur, Luis Tunis. The Manobo tribe is the ancestral people of Carrascal, Surigao del Sur. Their tribal wear is woven with intricate designs and unique patterns using the colors red, black, yellow, and white. Women are adorned with fully beaded accessories, and men play the tribal rhythm on their drum. Together, the Manobos perform their traditional dances and rituals. Carrascal recognizes that community well-being and development is supported by knowing the cultural identity and rekindling the primal connection with Mother Nature. Catanawan, Quezon, Vivian Fabella. It has been their tradition to celebrate Sagrado Corazon de Jesus every month of June. A lady is dressed queenly to praise and thank the Lord for the whole year's blessings. This year, they decided to celebrate it in an eco-friendly fashion. The costume was delicately crafted from coconut fiber, cinnamite with mangrove propagales, handmade by local designers of Catanawan. Cebu City, Guia Moreno. Steel symbolizes power, progress, industrialization. Perfect representation for the Queen City of the South and the bold and fearless Cebuanos. They embrace industrialization. Yet they preserve their pop culture, which is reflected in these colorful coral reefs. Fun fact, they take pride in the underwater ecosystems in Cebu because its diversity of colors means it's healthy. Claver, Surigao del Norte, Jan Junibel Lura. The Mamanwa tribe is a treasured local indigenous group of the municipality of Claver, Surigao del Norte, and is known as one of the oldest tribes in the Philippines. The Mamanwas are traditionally into farming and hunting as a form of survival, but as Claver's economy flourished, they were also given the equal opportunities when it comes to livelihood and educational opportunities as the other local population. Despite the big leap in Claver's development, the Mamanwa domains are highly protected and treasured as part of Claver's cultural heritage. Cordon Isabella Zenith Can. This masterpiece reflects the beauty of Cordon. Various indigenous materials were used to emanate the rich and vast culture of the Cordon, the home of the Manlaon Festival, an Ilocano term for farmers. The base of the gown is made of burna sacks that the local farmers commonly use to stock their harvested crops. All beaded work in the entire gown was hand-sewn by local artisans. The artwork in the tail of the gown was done by a local painter, showcasing the rich spiritual connection of the people of Cordon, and the skirt showcases various eco-tourist spots, landmarks, and products in our town that are intricately done by the creative hands of Cordonians. Cotabato City, Alexandra Salazar. This traditional ensemble portrays a princess who lives in the midst of the very rich Islamic heritage of Cotabato City. It is inspired by the Sharif Kabunsan Festival, which is a colorful celebration in honor of the Arab missionary who introduced Islam to Mindanao. The skirt is made of inaul, a traditional woven fabric of the Maguindanaoans, embellished with sparkling beads and crystals, along with golden ornaments, which epitomizes the city of cultural charms. The olive green veil represents the Rio Grande de Mindanao, which is the second largest river in the Philippines. Davao City, Elda Luis Aznar. The Bagobo Tagabawa constitute one of the largest groups among the indigenous peoples of southern Mindanao. Their embroidery and textiles continue to profoundly connect to ideas of the South in relation to their group, especially with regard to shared ideals of spiritual understanding and belonging. From the earplugs connected under the chin by numerous varicolored strings of beads, and arms and legs are laden with bracelets and bangles of brass, of shell, of cunningly woven vegetables, tendrils, and fibers. To women's coiffure, embellished with bead-encrusted combs cut out of wool. Digo City, Irish Ibuan. Obo Manobo has a very colorful clothing. They prepare the fabrics with stripes of red or yellow or anything having a maze of colors. The cloth is usually made from dried abaca fiber with intricate design. Ginuwatan are in woven representational designs such as flowers. Abaca production continues among Manobo communities because the primary raw material of the Manobo traditional dress. Dumaguete City, Krisha Hamisarani. A representation of history and culture combined with the elegance and sophistication of the Philippine mestiza dress takes center stage in this quintessential silhouette of the modern Filipiniana. This cultural regalia of the empowered Dumaguetena draws inspiration from the scenic location of Dumaguete City where the sun rises. It features a headpiece which symbolizes the shining aura and the gentle spirit of a Dumaguetena woman, and a cape which is a symbol of anointed authority and power portrayed by fiesta queens of the Bigon era. El Nido Palawan, Dana Yapercon. Miss El Nido Palawan is wearing a costume that depicts the rich culture and biodiversity of her place. El Nido derived its name after the edible nest of swiftlet birds, or balin sa sayaw, found in the limestone cliffs. These nests will be the main ingredient of the gourmet Nido soup, which is a native delicacy El Nido has to offer. The whole ensemble is made up of recycled materials. Modern Filipiniana embellished with the beauties and wonders of El Nido, Palawan. Esperanza Sultan Kudarat. Amira Alicia Kamhawe is glitzed up as a dignitary Muslim princess, epitomizing the legendary creature of Maranao folklore, the Siramanok, or its golden form. This handcrafted creation glistens the trajectory of the Islamic heritage that is culturally esteemed in Sultan Kudarat. The ensemble was carefully sewn by hand, with the beadwork individually crafted as a visualization of cultural harmony, the feathers as representation of soaring benevolence, and the golden earth tones as a reflection of the luscious land of her origin. General Santos City, Sunshine, May, Ningasca. This cultural attire is in honor of the Blaan tribe of Mindanao, who are also the earliest documented settlers of General Santos City, and coined its original name, Nadyangan, which refers to a tree with thorns on its trunk and stems that had reportedly thrived in the city. Notable in the ensemble is the tabi fabric, used as a tubular skirt for Blaan women or used as formal pants among the Blaan men. The cloth attached to the headdress is almost a century old, weaved by no less than the late Tung Yabi, one of the country's national living treasures. Iloilo City, Rizal, Angela, Songano. This cultural attire is heavily influenced by Suklan Malayon, the goddess of home, hearth, families, and happiness. She is referred to as a protecting sister and is depicted as a beautiful lady accompanied by birds that serve as her messengers. Suklang Malayon is a goddess, a guardian, and a woman who serves and protects the earth and its inhabitants. Hagna Bohol, Mary Gwyn Corambis. Mary's cultural attire is a modern interpretation of the traditional wear for Mazurka de Hagna. The costume celebrates Hagnaan Moon's love for culture and the arts, and conveys a deep connection to religion and faith. It also celebrates the town's booming strawberry industry and is made of raffia fabric, an organic and eco-friendly material. Lapu-Lapu City, Claire Codilia. Batik, also known as pintados, is a Cebuano word for tattoo, signifying a mark or a seal on one's body. The culture of wearing batik was evident in the Sri Visaya people of Mactan long before the arrival of the Spaniards. To appreciate our cultural identity, we must be able to understand our history, as we live amongst the generations and generations of descendants from a rich heritage, who value unity of our people with stories that last a lifetime. Las Piñas City, Hannah Kinalayo. The costume was designed by Dan Esmalde. It was made as a tribute to the 15th Las Piñas Water Lily Festival. Water Lily Festival celebration promotes the water lily handicraft, weaving enterprise created using water lilies that clog rivers and waterways as raw materials, making mats, decorations, and various handicrafts. The mestizo terno was made from 100% dried water lilies to showcase the city's love for the environment as the giver of life and livelihood. This work aims to spark awareness and encourage people to be environmentally conscious that problems can turn into beautiful things. Mabini, Batangas, Samantha Elin Coloso. Samantha is wearing a blue modern Filipiniana inspired by a rainbow parrotfish. Parrotfish are colorful, tropical creatures that spend about 90% of their day eating algae off coral leaves. With Mabini, Batangas being the center of marine biodiversity, this almost constant eating performs the essential task of cleaning the reefs, which helps the corals stay healthy and thriving. Samantha's fan represents a parrotfish's fins, her trail emulates its tail, and her modern Filipiniana's intricate 3D details embody the rainbow scale-like features of a parrotfish. Mabini, Davao de Oro, Chena Gamale Solamillo. Chena is wearing the majestic creation of J. Navarro Palco inspired by the essential facts and features of Mabini, Davao de Oro that supports the fast-rising ecotourism, with a touch of modernity represented by the modern look of a Filipiniana to Mabini's coastal lines and sea areas, which are ecologically protected to safeguard the diverse marine ecosystem. The headdress enumerates the 11 municipalities of Davao de Oro, and Mabini is one in which its biodiversity flourishes from crest to reef as the community gave importance to nature's cyclic dance, elegantly swaying to the waves of change. Mabitac, Laguna, Helena Pearl Miranda. Miss Mabitac Laguna's cultural attire is named and inspired by her hometown, Amazing Mabitac, showcasing the 15 Blessed Barangay highlighting the Nuestra Senora de Candelaria, their patron saint with his parish church with 126 steps to salvation. They celebrate the longest Christmas in the Philippines from January 1 to 6 of every year called the Three Kings Festival, wherein people gather to celebrate and enjoy the so-called Pasabog ng Pera. The costume is made of rattan, banig, and boho accentuated with wooden and glass beads to showcase their local materials as one of their sources of living. Makilala North Cotabato, Ara Ragong. Ara's cultural attire was inspired by the Kalibungan Festival, representing the tribe people of the province of North Cotabato. Beneath the costume is a story of a land where diversity is celebrated and not a hindrance to what it can achieve: prosperity. The base of our costume is made out of inaul, which symbolizes royalty, and the colorful beads attached to it symbolize the important virtues and qualities of a North Cotabateño, resiliency and bravery. Malolos Bulacan, Nika Vea. This gown depicts the smooth-flowing movement of the stream that embodies the transparency and resiliency of the Maloleños. It is a vision turned into life through the craftsmanship to perfection and inspired by crafting timeless treasures of Santa Cruzan, which originated in Bulacan and embellished with flowers and crystal stones that epitomize the gigantic jewelry industry of Maykawayan. It is a reminder that we embrace change but never forget the rich heritage to ensure conservation and sustainable progressive development, creating a social balance of the livelihood between humanity and environment. Malungon Sarangani, Fatima Kate Bisan. Miss Philippines Earth Malungon's cultural costume is inspired by the ingenuity, unparalleled artistry, and colorful history of the Philippines' Blaan weavers. It is accessorized with gintlo and banig to pay homage to their art of weaving, vibrant culture, and exceptional tradition. The loyalty of this ensemble portrays the race of every Blaan for abundance, prosperity, and recognition. Mandaluyong City, Ronnie Meneses. Ronnie's cultural attire is a modern ethno-Filipinada design. It is a fusion of the mestiza dress from the northern part of the Philippines and the ethnic tribal region of the southern part of the country. The colors purple and gold were used to symbolize justice and power, two principles that truly represent the country and humanity. Mandaue City, Esperanza Mina. In Mandaue, Barangay Pagsabungan in the olden days, there were few recreational activities that people can join in. One of them was cockfighting sabong, cockfighting without blades attached to the roosters. Pagsabungan, in the far north of the town as the time goes by this cockfighting, became a cultural festival of Mandaue Hanon, as this costume is inspired by this festival, with its colorful feathers that represents the very sociable attitude of Mandaue Hanon. The walis design on top of its headdress represents the native culture in Barangay Paknaan that recently gave birth to Paknawan Festival. Manila City, Sarah Margaret Hoson. Si Maria ng Kamaynilaan. From Barot Saya to Traje de Mestiza, Filipino values and culture evolve. So should our national costume. The Filipiniana is not meant to die and should stay embedded in our lives, perhaps in a different and more modern form. The appearance of modern Filipiniana is a symbol and reminder that our country has a rich culture and natural beauty. Added with gold ornament to emphasize that a Filipina is a strong, beautiful, respected, and empowered woman. Maribohok Bohol, Jaya Caroline Gabaysen. This cultural costume takes inspiration from anahaw leaves and the rich flora and fauna of the province of Bohol. It also celebrates the Boholano ingenuity of using products originating from natural fibers, as evidenced by the use of the raffia fabric from the Tubigon loom weavers. The 3 white doves signify the 3 distinct of the province, and the 2 green doves signify unity and strength, characters we need in this time of the pandemic. Marilao, Bulacan, Malaya Moreno. The history of Marilao, Bulacan is derived from the word madlaw because there are many yellow flower farms in Marilao. This modern Filipinianan costume made by Pats Clarino is inspired by the Halamang Dilaw Festival of Marilao, Bulacan. Mualboal, Cebu, Charissa Rama, ocean-inspired Filipiniana. Mualboal is known for its healthy coral reefs and crystal-clear blue waters. Inspired by the goddess queen of the sea, Amphitrite, this costume looks positively luminous in a fitted and flowing ocean blue color. The detailing on the bottom part of the gown is carefully handcrafted and adorned with incredible pearls detailing at the bodice. The Filipiniana sleeves are designed to showcase our cultural identity and by giving pride and honor to the Filipinos, taking inspiration and combination from coral reefs in Walbual, adding to the overall heavenly allure of the ocean look. Nagtipunan Quirino, Saira, Ballesteros. Bugkala tribe is widely known for being headhunters. It is already part of their historical culture to headhunt as a proof for their love, bravery, and title. However, as Nagtipunan have welcomed new races, settlers, and cultures, they have learned to embrace the sincerity of religion. This magnificent masterpiece symbolizes how religion can be a way of peace and progress, that everything is possible as long as there is love, respect, and kindness. And if we have accepted His Almighty from the deepest of hearts, we can be the bravest and kindest warrior that our earth has been needing. Naik Cavite, Jezreel de Ocampo. Ang inspirasyon sa kasuotang ito na nalikha ni Carl Balaw ay hango mula sa panungahing kinabubuhay ng mga Naikenyos, ang paglalaot o pangingisda. Ang kasuotan ay pinalintulad sa karaniwang suot ng mga mangingisda na balot mula ulo hanggang paanan upang proteksyonan ang sarili mula sa matinding sikat ng araw. Ang bangka na may katig naman ay ang karaniwang nilang ginagamit sa paglaot na binuhay ng layag na nagpapakita ng kultura at pagmamahal ng Naikenyos sa kalikasan. Olongapo City, Anita Gomez. Miss Olongapo's national costume is inspired by the legend of Olongapo City. The name, coined from the terms ulo ng apo, is about a beloved leader that was killed by his abductors, leaving the apo's head at the foot of a mountain, impaled in a pole. This costume, designed by Kevin Barutolaba, is inspired by Mayari, a Filipino goddess of war. Mythology has taught us that every goddess has their own capabilities to influence its people, a plausible fact that this may have influenced the Apo's abductors. This see-through gown represents every person's humanity. A portion of our lives have been lived with cold hearts and emotions at war within us. Parañaque City, Nela Algerbaju. In this sunduan, a centuries vintage custom specific to Parañaque, a gentleman fetches his woman at home and brings her to the church or metropolis plaza. To impress his woman and her parents, the gentleman brings with him a marching band that accompanies the couple on their stroll to the church. The romantic subculture dates again to that Spanish colonial period. Sinaloan, Laguna, Ileana Marie Aduana. Inspired by the Anilag Festival, a festive celebration featuring the rich harvest and culture of Laguna's municipalities, including Sinaloan, Laguna. They aim to let you experience their festive culture that is centered on thriving agriculture and prosperous harvest. They use sustainable materials like palay, butil ng mais, butil ng munggo, white beans, black beans, pinukit na bao, wooden beads, and tanzo to completely embody the Ani ng Laguna theme. The scepter is there to invigorate prosperous bounty and the headpiece to symbolize the crown of praise for the hardworking farmers. Santa Cruz, Davao del Sur, Christine Cadiz. It symbolizes the Philippine eagle, locally known as Bano, whose large numbers reside in Mindanao and represent Davao del Sur province as a land of heights and flight, a place that is a constant journey and aims to reach new and higher grounds for its people, and it flies and soars those heights with dignity and pride as one united and empowered people. Its headdress, which looks like the mane of the lion, attributing to its name of being the bird king, or Haring Ibon, consists of feathers and cardboard paper designed as kulintang. Santo Domingo Albay, Aubrey, Asuncion. Santo Domingo, the most romantic town of Albay, is known for its classical love song, Sarong Bangi, composed by Potenciano V. Gregorio, where emanates the colorful celebration of Sarong Bangi Festival. The cultural attire represents the uniqueness of our town as we celebrate events during nighttime, and marked as the parade of the dancing lions in Bicolandia. The costume is made up of locally produced abaca fiber, handmade papers that promote sustainability and preservation of our natural resources. Sual, Pangasinan, Ina, Allen. Breathing life to the legendary Prinsesa or Duha of Pangasinan, known for her unmatched beauty, unparalleled bravery, and immense wisdom, is Miss Philippines Earth, Sual, Pangasinan. This eco-warrior is said to have descended from the sun to rule over Pangasinan in a great era of peace, prosperity, and abundance. Intricate beadwork and meticulous details adorn the warrior princess armor, echoing her stature both as a genuine historical figure and that of a popular Earth warrior folklore. Sugbong Gogon, Misamis Oriental, Catherine Tan Guipatacio. Hand-painted by award-winning visual artist Michael Bacol, Miss Sugbong Gogon, Misamis Oriental is wearing a Filipiniana-inspired ensemble with coconut head embellishment and fringes. Designed by Gigi Aiza, this Kuyamis-inspired cultural attire is a picture of the vibrant history of Misamis Oriental, paying tribute to the province's indigenous past and highlighting its agricultural abundance, especially coconuts, making Miss Sugbong Gogon Oriental truly a personified Kuyamis. The Gig City, Gia Gold, Bustamante. This cultural costume highlights the highly urbanized infrastructure of the gig and how this intercepts in nature. The pieces that were put together are the reflection of the interrelation connecting the modernization and conservation between the rising amount of innovations, where the headpiece represents the Conservatory of Plants, and it also reflects the Mine Museum. With the city's constant innovation, it has never failed to preserve nature and connect with its purpose, to take care of the Mother Nature, like the fringes that show how nature is being well taken care of, green parks that are located in the city, that has been helping the balance of the ecosystem. Talisay City, Mia Jane Salisbury. To be a vessel of Talisay City, Cebu means representing the people who are warm and welcoming, just like the warm embrace of the sun. The rays of sun symbolize resilience of her city. Despite hardships and calamities, Talisayans preserved like the sun, determined to peek out of the clouds after a storm. Lopez Galve. Inspired by the breathtaking and eye-pleasing sea of clouds in the Sierra Madre mountain ranges, Sophia's cultural attire is made of organic materials such as yantok and kawayan, as well as recycled pillow stuffings to recreate the mysticism of the sea of clouds. Sequin patterned fabric and add glamour to the layers, while neon lights of blue, pink, and orange symbolize the magical colors of the sky in dawn and in the sunset. Indeed, this collaborative brainchild of renowned designer Patrick Isorena and Miss Philippines Earth Tanay Sofia Lopez Galve is a cultural attire worthy of a woman of the earth. Tungawan Zamboanga Sibugay, Angela Meriza Borja, Gampia Gandao. Good day. Miss Tungawan depicts a Subanan princess that mirrors the beliefs, practices, and experiences of the Aboriginal tribe of Tungawan. Sub, the upper garment, and tapis, lower garment, are black, symbolizing the darkness of the night and the time of worship. worship. The sub and tapis are embellished with elaborate beadworks and sequences in white, epitomizing authority and peace. The Subanen princess personifies the unique cultural expression and the way of the life of the Subanen. Urdaneta City, Marvi Fernandez. Panag-ani, Harvest. Urdaneta City is famously known as the trading hub of the north, or Bagsakan. It became a drop-off point for bountiful produce such as fruits and vegetables. The city is also known for its livestock and cattle industry, hence the famous symbol of Urdaneta. The water buffalo, or Kalabaw, known for its strength, endurance, and indefatigable character. The avant-garde headdress, made with a native basket detailed with well-constructed rubber mats. All in all, the costume is a representation of an eco-warrior, a strong modern Filipina who is ready for saving our environment. Victoria Tarlac, Princess Dano. This costume was inspired of Kulturang Pilipino, Tatak, Tarlaqueño, Malatarlac Festival, Filipiniana. A glimpse of Tarlac, unique culture, modern Filipiniana, with wired butterfly sleeves accentuated with bamboo and wood beads. Her costume is made from fully indigenous materials with the help of their very own indigenous aitas in one of the towns of her province, municipality of Mayantong, who helped them make this costume more unique and extravagant. They use pandan leaves, rattan, apica, water lily, and recycled materials to achieve the eco-friendly